Hey guys, Foxdrop here with another game commentary. This game is a Shaco game, a pre-season 4 Shaco game. So the first thing I want to say before I get into this commentary is that some of you guys have been saying that you prefer the live game commentaries over these commentaries, and don't worry, I'm not stopping my live game commentaries to make these ones. It's just that right now, at this current time, it is a lot easier for me to be doing these low recorded games as opposed to my live game commentaries, but like I say, I'm not stopping them. I'll be doing them in the future. Now, for this Shaco game, this isn't going to be any kind of like sick MLG 420 no scope plays on Shaco. This game, I don't really dominate really hard. I wanted to really showcase how you can play Shaco more conservatively, more moderately, especially going into the late game, and how you can still be effective. And so you don't have to just rely on snowballing, you don't just have to rely on stomping people to win games with Shaco, and where you can actually not do too well early or not have a really big impact, but still be useful later on in the game. So for my runes and masteries, I actually have a very specific rune page on Shaco, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'll put it would be in the description. I believe it's something like 5 Armour Yellows and 4 attack speed yellows, attack speed blues, some AD reds and some AD and some AS reds, and either flat AD Quints or like move speed Quints, Armour Pen Quints, something like that. But I'll put it in the description. But you can run a lot of things on Shaco. I do really suggest though you get some attack speed in your blues. I would say that's the only thing you really need. And for masteries, I'm trying a lot of things out. But on Shaco, I think this game I was running 2109. So for my start path, I've just stacked boxes on blue buff. I haven't done my little god path that I showcased in an earlier video of mine, just because I didn't really want to get involved in that, because I didn't know if my teammates would know how to help me, because it does require a bit of help. I hadn't explained to them in time, so I thought, well, I'll just play it safe. I'll stack boxes at blue and get away with that. So I started at blue and then I walked over to my red buff. The reason why I'm taking my red buff right away rather than doing a mini camp and then going over to red buff is because I'm a bit afraid of Eve invading me. Eve is very strong at the moment. She bypasses all wards, and she can probably kick my ass a little bit, especially when I'm only level 2 and I've got my boxes. So I wanted to take this red buff away to avoid any kind of steal. Now, as you saw with my items, I started with Doran's Blade and a health potion. This is just because I wanted a lot of pressure early, and Doran's Blade gives you a lot of damage. It's a really nice item, but you do lose a lot of health because you don't have all those potions that you would be having if you had machete. So if you look at my health when I'm clearing here, what I should be doing is I actually make a mistake on this Wraith camp. I should be letting my boxes tank a bit more of the damage. But either way, even if my boxes were tanking more, I'd still be on quite low health, I think, because I only had one potion. So now I'm faced with a decision, like, what do? I don't have a lot of health, because I've started with these Doran's Blade. So I'm actually just going to recall here. Like, this was not really very effective. You don't want to be recalling when you've got double bust as a jungler, but I have to because I've got no choice. I have no option. So I recall and I buy tier 1 boots and some health potions. Tier 1 boots so I can run around and have more pressure on the map, so I can be more aggressive in ganking, and the potions so that I can avoid doing what I just did previously in the future. So let's speed this up a teeny weeny bit. Just looking around to see what I can do. A lot of the lanes are actually pushed, and I can't tower dive a Shaco this early on into the game, so I don't really want to be doing anything. So I put a box down here just to see, if Eve walks past it, she'll trigger it, and we'll see her. But Gragas has gone in a little bit too hard here, and we see Eve as well. So I jump over the wall onto Eve. I just fight her off a little bit. Want to kill her, and she dies. So now I can get onto Gragas here, and I've got Ignite as well. So Gragas flashes away. I deceive into him, attack him, and chuck my shiv at him. I didn't actually ignite him because I used that on Eve. Actually, that was my mistake. But I queued into him to get that last basic attack off, and then I shivved him and I killed him. Now, if Gragas had turned to face me, he may have survived that. And the reason why I say that is because Shaco's passive means you do extra damage if someone has their back turned to you. So it's called backstab, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So, if someone isn't facing you, you do extra damage to them. And that works off of all your abilities as well. It's not just your basic attacks. So your shiv does something like 15% extra damage. I'm not quite sure if that's the exact number, but it does a increased amount of damage if the enemy isn't facing you. So if Gragas had turned with his big belly and tried to block it rather than getting shivved in the back, he may have survived that. Unlikely, but it's possible. So after I'd killed him, I figured I'd go do something useful, so I just invaded his wraiths and took away the big wraiths just to set Eve a little bit behind and put me forward a little bit as well. I went back and I bought another Doran's Blade and also a longsword. So I'm buying very, very early items. I've actually skipped a jungle item. I haven't got any machete or any spirit stone or anything like that. I've skipped jungle items and I've gone purely for damage. Just huge pressure basically in my items. I actually checked a box down here as well in the Steel Tribush because I'm kind of looking for a bot gank, but I don't really think there's anything going. But I checked the box down just to stop Eve from collapsing if she does. And here, because I jumped over the wall, Tarek doesn't know I'm here, so that means I can go in on him. I put a box down right on him just as Vayne's Condemn is about to run off. I chuck a box down so that when he comes out of the stun, he's going to get feared and it will chain CC. And so we'll get the easy kill. We kill him anyway, we don't really need that, but that's just a little nice bonus effect that I was thinking about. And now I jump in on Gragas as well here. I actually used my Deceive quite far away from Gragas here. I didn't run up to near the wave and then Deceive in. What I did was I was far away when I used my Deceive and then relied on my stealth travel to actually get to him. The reason why I did that was because I didn't want it to seem so obvious that I was coming for him. If I Deceive close to him, then the puff of the Deceive Cloud, he may have spotted my Deceive Cloud, so I didn't want that to happen. Now I'm looking top as well, and I'm seeing that Rumble's on low health, and I'm also level 6. So what I do here, I'm just going to pause really quickly. So what I do here is I get my clone out and I use my clone to initially draw tower aggro, and then I shiv him to slow him down, and because my clone is drawing tower aggro, I know that he's going to die and he's going to blow up. So he draws tower aggro, I run him next to Rumble and my clone blows up along with the shiv damage and he just dies. So that's a really, really easy tower dive for me. I didn't have to do anything special, I didn't die, which is, you know, #1 priority when you're doing a tower dive, don't die. And yeah, so we just kind of get a kind of cheeky kill there on the Rumble too. Tower dives are also always really, really good ideas as well, because that means that the person who died under their tower loses all of the XP and all of the CS that the minions that were under their tower at the time as well. So anytime you can get off a good tower dive, really, really useful. Now I went back and I bought some Moby Boots so that I can be really, really aggressive and run around the map and make loads of plays. You can get Berserker Greaves if you want as well. It's really preference. Moby Boots are pretty fun though. And also I bought a crystalline flask. I always like to get this on Shaco because Shaco can run out of mana and he has no sustain either. You don't really want to be stocking up on potions all the time, so just getting a crystalline flask is really good. Also means that you don't need to buy both mana and health potions. You only need to have one inventory slot for your potions, which is the flask. And because you'll be buying a lot of small components when you're playing Shaco, and with these Doran's Blades as well, it really eats into your inventory space. I do actually have a flask and a potion in my inventory, but that potion won't last very long, and it's more for later on rather than right now. Right now I've got the inventory space, but in the future I probably won't. Now this is actually kind of like a really bad thing to happen. If you're jungling, this is my worst nightmare. When I spend time snowballing a lane and then that lane dies 1v1 to the enemy laner. I spent a lot of time camping this Gragas and giving this Nidalee a lot of farm, a lot of kills, and putting her ahead, and she just died 1v1 to Gragas, and Gragas is on full health as well. I mean, that's, to me, this is what I really dislike seeing, or what puts me in a really sticky situation, because then I'm faced with the question, like, is this, you know, is it worth even sticking, like, this person is fed. Usually I like to stick with the fed person to help them snowball the game, but if this person is losing 1v1, is it really worth doing that? And that's the decision I have to make, and oftentimes I'm not too sure about the resolution, you know, what decision I should make ultimately, and so it puts me in a sticky situation. But in this bot lane here, our bot lane got tower dived, and I couldn't mop up any kills. I'm on kind of low health. I see Nidalee coming down though, so I think maybe we can get something. But I know if I keep chasing, I'm just gonna someone's gonna see me. We're not gonna get anything. And Eve actually shows up here, but this will be her doom because Nidalee's coming in as well. So I slow her down. I trick her with a red buff, but Nidalee can't hit the spear to finish her off. I think it's Nidalee maybe is getting a bit shaky now because she just died to Gragas and is feeling the pressure a little bit. But either way, we don't get the kill there. But it forces Eve to go away. And because my bot lane are now coming back and the enemy jungler has disappeared, we can get the dragon. And I time my smite obviously to last hit the dragon so that we avoid any steals. So that Ezreal ult doesn't pick up the dragon and they don't get the steal. Now at this stage in the game I don't really want to be farming too much. I'm doing a little bit of farming just so I don't fall behind. But I want to try and have as much pressure as possible. it's kind of, so I'm looking at places to do that. And I quite like doing that bot lane, especially with a Vayne in bot lane, because, I mean, this bot is pretty easy for me to gank, because Thresh is really easy to gank for because he has so much CC. Vayne has a lot of damage and is relatively easy to gank for as well. And look at this gank, what happens here? I get lanterned, then I deceive, and I lob my Shiv, so he gets slowed as well. It's pretty much the perfect engage. However, this is what we don't count on, which is a really, really good counter gank by Eve. So Eve shows up and just kills me, which is really bad. But my teammates should get away here, but if I remember correctly, actually, they might die here. I don't know whether that's true or not, but they might die. If they do, that's bad. They shouldn't die. But yeah, so that was a really good counter gank by Eve, and that just meant that we then lost out on that gank. So that really sucks for us. And now I'm kind of left picking up the pieces a little bit here as to what I want to do next. Really not... yeah, counter ganks is just great if you're the one doing them, and bad if you're the one getting counter ganked. Now I'm looking to see maybe if I can get a gank in top lane. I've got the sweeper trinket, so I can see if there are any wards about, and I've used that to just clear out the Tribush ward. And now I'm going to try and work my way mid lane, but there's not too much going on. And again, I'm feeling myself getting counter ganked by this Eve. She's tracking my movements quite well. And she's really breathing down my neck. And this Eve is actually... I feel as though she's probably stronger than I am in a 1v1 at this stage in the game. Our Nidalee actually just dies as well. She stays too long. She dies to the Eve. But then Eve tries to kill me, and I manage to 1v1 her. She does take 2 tower shots, which help me. But yeah. So I also see at this stage of the game, and I'm just going to pause it right here. I know that their red buff, I instantly, as soon as Eve died, I instantly ran over to their red buff to take it away. The reason why I knew their red buff was respawning was because our blue buff just recently respawned as well. And so what that means is that I did my blue at level 1, Eve did her red at level 1. And so their spawn times are kind of synchronized a little bit. And because Eve didn't have her red when she died to me, I knew that she hadn't previously taken it away, which means that more or less pretty much 100% guaranteed that it would be up at the time. I tried to deceive over the wall to get away, but I failed, but it's okay because I just walk away anyway, so that's fine. So I managed to steal away Eve's red buff for free there, which is that was really good opportunism, I should say. Seeing the opportunity to go and grab that, getting that red buff. Now Nidalee has died mid again, which is a shame, but it does mean that I get to soak up a bit of free XP, although I decided against that because I realised if I've taken away this Eve's red buff, she might be looking to invade me. So I don't want that to happen, so I take away the blue buff, I secure that, I decide that blue buff is probably worth a bit more than a few creeps. Probably can't defend this mid lane anyway, because Gragas has got a lot to kill the tower with. But then I go and jump over the wall to go and gank this Gragas. Thresh shows up as well to help out with the gank, and we manage to pick up the kill there. Now Nidalee goes to roam bot as well, so I'm just thinking, well, I'm not going to roam bot because there's no real point. I'm thinking, I may as well just push mid. We may as well get some damage off into this tower and try and take this tower. But I don't want to stay around because I knew that Eve was around. She was at bot, and then she kind of looked like she was walking up the river, so I got a bit scared. But what happened here as well, which is another thing which I really dislike, is when laners steal away my buff without any contention. So what happened here was Rumble actually stole my red buff away. Rumble was not winning this top lane. I mean, he's not losing it, but he's not winning it. Not to the extent where he should be able to invade my jungle willy-nilly and just take everything for free. That shouldn't happen. And the fact that did happen is it really just lax from, you know, it's just lazy by this Renekton to let it happen, basically. His ward run out at a bad time, or he didn't have it covered, and so we just lose a red buff, which is quite frustrating. But you could also say it was good by Rumble, and it's very true, it was good by Rumble, to recognise the opportunity to steal it away, and so he puts me behind by doing that, so that was good by Rumble. Now for my item build as well, now as you can see I'm building towards a Ravenous Hydra. I really like this item on Shaco. You can kind of go between, it's like a toss up between Blade Rune King and Hydra, and I personally prefer Hydra at the moment because Blade Rune King's been nerfed a bit too much in my opinion, and also Hydra means that your wave clear is really good, so your split pushing is really, really nice when you do have this Hydra item. I managed to pick up a bit of a kill there as well. Nothing too flashy, just they overextended a little bit too much, so we went in and fought them while we could, and we pick up the kill on Taric. But, like, we're almost 20 minutes into the game, and I'm 3-1-6, I don't have a lot of farm. I haven't really done too much. I haven't, you know, I'm not doing bad by any means. Like, our team has 11 kills, and I've been part of 9 of them. I've also secured a dragon, I've been counter-jungling a little bit, so I'm doing well. But I'm not dominating. I'm not one of those 10-0 Shacos who's going to carry the game by himself, and who you know is going to make the enemy team forfeit 20 minutes into the game. So basically, this means I'm not underfarmed, but I'm also in a good position to try and help this mid game. But I'm also going to have to try pretty hard to carry this mid late game. So what I've done here is I've snuck into this bottom bush. Lane phase is kind of ended, so they're really not going to suspect a bush gank here. They're not going to suspect any kind of lane gank. I figured Vayne is around, so Vayne can kind of walk around and they see that Thresh is mid because they've got full vision on him. They may figure, oh, this Vayne's alone. She's an idiot. We can get a free kill on her. So I just stay around, and this Ezreal goes pretty greedy here. He uses Arcane Shift to just harass Vayne, and so I just appear out of the bush. I don't use my Deceive out of the bush, I just walk up to him. I don't want to use my Deceive, because if he's got his flash and I've used my Deceive already, then he's going to get away from me because I won't have anything to gap close. Maybe if I can shiv him, but I might not be in range for that. So it looks like the enemy team is pushing up mid quite hard, so I've just decided to stay bottom push. And this is what you do on Shaco, this is what you do. So I'm going to pause this again right here real quick. They were making a push onto mid, and you can see this Vayne is rotating up to help the team fight as well, because Vayne can help in a team fight. But Shaco is much more useful in these side lanes doing things like split pushing. He's much better at doing that, especially if you're going a squishy assassin glass cannon build, which is what I'm going for this game. So my plans, if I can peel someone off of this mid lane just to come and go for me, then that's a success for me. And what's actually happened is that I didn't have enough minions to go for this tower at the bot lane, so I figured I may as well rotate and try to help this fight here. So I actually jump over the Wraith wall and get a free kill onto that Gragas, kind of a kill steal actually. And I very, very, very nearly died to the tower because I was a bit foolish in tower diving when my team didn't want to, which is not their fault. I shouldn't have done it. And so I nearly died, but I don't know. It's okay, I only blown my ulti. So if I had stayed bot then, nothing really would have happened because I didn't have the minions. If I had a minion wave at this bot tower, I would have stayed and tried to take it down and just try to get a lot of damage off onto it. But because there were no minions there, I figured I may as well just rotate to mid lane and try and help the fight. I've also taken away this blue buff quite a lot this game. I don't think I've donated any across the Nidalee. And really that's kind of twofold. The first reason why I've not done that is because this Nidalee is not... I don't really trust this Nidalee to not lose this blue buff. And I don't mean any, animosity or hostility when I say that. I'm just genuinely just thinking things through. If this Nidalee has, she's been given advantages and she's dying quite a lot in the mid lane, for whatever reason that's happening, whether she's getting camped, she's getting unlucky, whatever the reason is, she's dying quite a lot, she's dying too much, and I don't think this blue buff, firstly, it's risky because it will be taken away by Gragas if she dies to him, and secondly, I don't think a blue buff is going to save her. I don't think she's getting poked down, I think she's just getting all in, so it's not like her heals are really going to save her, it's not like she's running out of mana to poke down Gragas either. And again, the enemy team is forging a pretty big fight in like a big push in the mid lane. So Vayne goes around to rotate. She rotates around to try and help the fight. And I just stick bot lane to keep pushing this down. If we lose the tower mid lane because I'm not there because it's 4v5, then so be it. But I can take this tower down as well. Not entirely worth it because I think that mid tower is worth more than this bottom tower. But still, this is a work in progress. Because if I can take this tower down, it means that I can then take the inhib tower down as well. And our team does end up losing the tower, but we do pick up 2 kills here, which is good. So I take down that tower, and then I'm kind of just walking around thinking, what can I do? There's not too much to do, and I don't want to get caught with my pants down and just have people go on to me. I just think, well, we may as well push down this mid lane again, because that's what the enemy team have done, and so I'm doing that now. I'm helping this mid lane push. Gragas was at the bot lane as well, and I know that this Gragas was around bot, so what I've done is I have put boxes down to secure this area of this fight right here. So I put a box down in the Wraith Camp bush, and I put a box down here as well. It just died. So that wherever Gragas comes from, if he tries to go around this choke point, he's going to get feared by a box, and it's going to impede his impact, reduce his impact in this team fight. So that's exactly what happens. He tries to come round, Fatman tries to come round, and what do you know, he can't get through because there are too many boxes. Now we try to do Dragon here, and the enemy team engage pretty heavily onto us. Turret goes a bit too hard and he just instantly dies. And I deceive a way to try and survive, and I actually end up deceiving right into a Rumble, ulti and flamethrower combination. And I kind of get wrecked a little bit, which means I can't do too much in this fight. My deceive is also on cooldown, it's just come up now. But I couldn't do too much in that fight. So I didn't want to, just rush things and run around and just like die randomly. So what I've done is I've just gone bot down. I haven't recalled because I'm on low health. I'm thinking, what can I do? I don't need health to split push this. In fact, I've got life still, so it will, I'll get health back. I'll get healthier. So instead of recalling, I managed to farm up a few hundred gold then, just because I had good awareness of what to do. So I'm 5-1 and 8 here, and a lot of these kills, like I say, before we were at 20 minutes. I was like 316, wasn't too fed. Now we're 25 minutes in, where we've been grouping up a lot now as well. Like this isn't, lane phase has ended. Lane phase ended a little while ago, and I'm still getting fed. And this is what is difficult to do on Shaco, especially if you're not used to Shaco, you're a newer Shaco player. Then you can struggle doing this, because it is hard to do this, because he has a very unique playstyle in this regard. So now I'm thinking, you know, Nidalee can take this blue buff now. We're at the stage where, you know, we're not really laning, like I said. I don't think she's just going to die 1v1 randomly to people anymore. So she can take blue buff. She's going to get a lot of use out of it. It's all fine. And so I'm just kind of like, if you look at my farm as well now, my farm is equal to our mid laner. It's pretty high. Like, my farm is pretty good right now. So I'm just kind of running around trying to get some things done. I'm going to let's see, does anything happen here? No, it doesn't. I tried to start a team fight there by deceiving from far away, and because I've got mobility boots, when I deceive, I travel quite a lot of distance. But anyway, right here I kind of jump in and just try to absorb some threat, absorb some, you know, like pressure from people. Like if I'm a target around for these people to fight, then that's good. Like if they kill me, but we kill them, and you know, like our carries, like Vayne survives, then I'm fine with that. And so I jumped in. I didn't die though. I just soaked up a lot of pressure because I had my ult up as well. They weren't too sure to focus. I don't even die. Like, I still survive. I'm actually gonna replay this just because I think it's quite important to, like, just how I survive a team fight like this. So the team fight's already going on right here. Our team isn't really looking too well. Our team Eve gets a pretty good ult off, and I actually engage with my deceive, which is never really perfect. You don't really want to be doing that on Shaco. But look at this. Gragas is now going really hard for me. He sees me, so he's going for me. I use my ult in anticipation that he's going to use his, like, his ulti, or maybe even me trying to block his belly flam? What? Body slam or belly flop. Holy crap. But, in the end, he flashes onto me to try and finish me off, and he can't do that. And I'm just running away. I'm like, holy shit, get out of here, get out of here. So I run away now as well. So that's pretty much what I did. I jumped in there, tried to get a bit of damage off. The enemy team realised I was there. They tried to kill me. They used a lot of resources to try and kill me. They didn't succeed, so we win the team fight. And now, again, I'm going bot lane because there's a wave to be pushing. I'm just split pushing. I'm trying to draw attention here. Getting all this CS, getting all this farm. You'll see I get a lot of CS this game just because this is what I'm doing. I'm drawing a lot of attention. And I'm not running away here. Like, if you look at me, look, there's no one on the minimap. There's no one on the enemy team on the minimap. Now, fair enough, 3 of them are dead. So, I'm kind of, it's a bit risky me being here, but I know it's not overly risky because, like I say, 3 of them are dead. And I'm Shaco. I can get away from this. I've got Moby boots, and I've got my deceive. I'm not going to get caught here. I knew Eve was mid lane, so I figured maybe she was coming up behind me, so I didn't want to stay too long. But I can overextend like that, and I just got about half damage off. Yeah, maybe this tower is now on 1/3 health, or maybe just under, you know, like 2/5 or something. It's on pretty low health now. And if I do that again, I'll get that tower, and then I'll do it again, I'll get the inhib. So it's all, like I say, it's a work in progress, and we're not even 30 minutes into this game. So the next items that I bought, I haven't talked about my item build for quite a while actually, so I apologise for that. But after my Hydra, I bought a Hex Drinker because they have Eve, Rumble, and Gragas, all 3 forms of magic damage. So the Hex Drinker shield, 250 health, really, really useful, and also it gives me a bit of extra damage as well. MR damage and the shield. I'm going to get a lot of use out of the shield. Ezreal ult, Ezreal W, Ezreal E is all magic damage. Tara does a lot of magic damage. I will get, even if it's not against the AP characters, I'll probably get a lot of use out of this shield. So, and also after that, I bought a static shiv just because it's a really nice item in general, and it also helps me with my split pushing. So right here, I've actually just been fighting Gragas just randomly, just generally just fighting him, because I'm thinking, well, I may as well I can possibly bait my team, or bait him into a fight with my team. I don't really care if I get owned, because I know if he's gonna have to stay to kill me, then he's going to be overextending, and my team will catch up and they'll kill him. So we actually got 2 kills out of that. This isn't me just saying, oh yeah, this isn't me just getting caught and being like, yep, really good play by me. I distracted the enemy team and then my team came in just because I'm covering my ass because I got caught and I was stupid. I actually genuinely, I didn't have anything to fear. I knew if he couldn't kill me in 0 seconds. If he wanted to kill me, he'd have to dedicate a bit hard onto it. And if he did dedicate a bit hard onto it, then my team would come in and they'd mop him up. And that's what happened, and so then we got a bit of poke, we got another kill out of it as well. Got a bit of damage off onto that inhib tower, and it all worked out nice and dandy. And again, look where I'm going. I'm going bot lane to soak up this farm even more. I bought a brutalizer just because that's a nice item for the CDR, for the damage, for the armor pen. It's just a really nice item in general. I've also bought a giant's belt now just so that hopefully I don't get blown up by some combos, because I know Gragas, especially at this stage in the game, can just one combo you. And I don't want to die in CC. Like, I don't want to get Tarek stunned and then just instantly die, or like E-volted and not be able to run away. So what I'm doing here, I'm just taking away this tower. I know my team is fighting mid lane, so I'm thinking, well, that gives me free reign to push down this bottom tower. So I push it down, and now I get a free inhib. I actually do it. Yeah, this is pretty stupid by me. What I do is I deceive to dodge the Betty flop, but I deceive on the spot because I'm like, I'm finishing off this inhib. So I kind of suicide to finish off an inhib, which is, it's definitely is worth it, but maybe I didn't need to die. I don't know. But again, pushing down this bot inhib. So now, inhibs, if you think about inhibs, are really worth more than Baron in a lot of circumstances. I definitely rate an inhib over Baron anyway. Considering I got a tower and an inhib out of that push just because my team were fighting mid, it's great. It's like perfect. This is what I want to happen. And I did this all by myself. Like, again, this is, I'm like Michelangelo here. This is like what Michelangelo must have been feeling like. Like he had a slab of rock, and he chipped away at this slab of rock, and he crafted this beautiful the statue of David. And this is how he felt, chipping away at that block, carving out his wang and his pubes and his ab muscles, and just thinking like, yes, this is a masterpiece. And this is what's happened bot lane. I've been chipping away at the towers with my daggers, and now I chipped away at the inhib, and the inhib for me is David's wang. I mean, this is it. I've taken it down, and yes, this is the masterpiece, and it's all coming together now. I'm an artist. Shaco is an artist. What can I say? But now I'm thinking, because I got this bottom inhib down, I'm not going back bot lane, because my objective is done. Like, I've achieved a lot bot lane. There's not really much point me going back there. I'm going to pause a little bit here, sorry, and just so I can play the fight in slow motion. But yeah, like I say, there's no point me going back bot lane here. I may as well fight with my team now. But when you're team fighting as Shaco, you want to be an assassin, especially if you build like me. You either want to just die and have a lot of the enemy team blow things onto you, or you want to take an enemy carry out the team fight. So what happens here is I use my deceive. Now we actually get wrecked right here. Like, there's a Rumble ult, Gragas ult, Evo absolutely destroys everyone here. So I jump in and I'm just focusing on a priority target. I'm focusing who I can. For me, that was Rumble right away. And now it's Eve. And now this Gragas has used his Zhonya's as well, I'm just switching over onto Ezreal too. So we get Ezreal and Gragas here, and now I'm just trying to kill this fabulous little Tarek. But he actually kills me because he's pretty beefy, which is a bit embarrassing. But still, we mop him up, and we win the fight. Because I decided I jumped right into, and I picked valuable targets. And when those valuable targets weren't, valid targets again, then I switched the targets. And I just made sure, like, as soon as I saw Ezreal was in my sights, I went on him, and I took him down. So we win that team fight just because I went balls to the wall. Just because you're an assassin, you're squishy, doesn't mean you have to play all scared and timid and stuff. Yes, you want to pick your opportunities, but no, you don't want to be wasting time. If you can get in there, even if you die, it's worth it. Like, if I die and Vayne doesn't die or Nidalee doesn't die, that's worth it. Like, that's fine. I don't have to survive every single team fight. But this is kind of where things get a bit ugly, I think. I actually used my ult here and I dodged the Gragas ulti. But at the end of the day, we're all getting caught out here. Now, I'm staying around just because I don't want to recall just yet. I don't want to run away because I've still got some health. I've still got some kick left in me. But really, there's nothing going here. So I put my box down here just to see where Eve's coming from. See if she decides to chase me or not. She probably shouldn't because they should be trying to do Baron. Or maybe recalling to defend their base. But a really wise decision for them would to be either pushing, Baron, or defending. They're the three options they've got. And the reason why they've got 3 options and not 2 options, i.e. pushing and Baron, is because of what I did bot lane to that inhibitor. If I didn't take that inhibitor away, they probably would have got a free Baron there. But because they decided to defend their base, because it was getting overrun due to the minion backlock that was happening, because I took down the inhibitor, we save ourselves a Baron and we get another opportunity to fight here. And if we can force these fights here, we're probably going to win, because we do have a fair gold advantage. It's not huge, but it's decent. But we need to be kind of careful here, because our team is all in base. We don't want to get caught. We don't want to die here. We don't want to delay the game even more. Even though looking at the time, it looks like the game does go on for a little bit longer here. But right now, we should be closing out the game. Like, however long it takes now for us to end this game is basically just how many mistakes we make. We don't make too many mistakes, this game will end pretty quickly. So I'm just going to skip. I'm going to play a lot of this in fast forward because there's not really too much going on. I'm just kind of... I'm playing a bit of a... Oh, wow, I fouled that. I'm playing a bit of a poacher right now. I'm not really looking to get really involved in any fight. I'm just trying to pick people off. And then when I see my opportunity to jump in, which is now, I jump in. I go for them. I go hard. I try to take them down. I actually blow Ezreal's flash as well there, going really, really aggressive. But the enemy's inhibitors respawn now, so if I can take this away, then that would be really good. But my allied team, because they know the inhib's up, they want to take it away as well. So it doesn't really work. Ideally, we want to be splitting it a little bit, but our team can take it away because there are 3 dead on the enemy team. So we get a free inhib here. And now we need to be careful though. We're all on low health. So that means they can take a Baron away. If we're all on low health and the enemy team rush Baron, then they may be able to get it before we can go and defend it. Especially if we all die, which we just did there. 2 of us just died there. No, I just bought a Banshee's Veil here. Again, just because I have a huge amount of magic damage and I figure it'll make me survive a teeny bit longer. Also because I may be able to block like some bit of CC or like a Gragas ult or something. Or even a Gragas Q will be really good for me to block because it has an attack speed like reduction. So they're doing Baron here. We don't have any vision on it and I actually completely fail my box. 100% fail my box. I don't put it over the wall. I just put it on the side, so I don't get to steal it. But I see that Gragas has gone really hard here. Like he's overextending a little bit. We try to kill him, but Thresh misses his flay. But he does have Zhonya's, so I suppose maybe we wouldn't get him anyway. The idea was to try and pick him off while he was away from his team, but we don't get him, so that's whatever. And now I'm just pushing down this top tower, or this top lane now. I've done my magic down in bot lane, and now it's time to do my magic in top lane. There isn't too much to really achieve here, apart from the inhib tower and the inhibs, and that's going to be really, really hard to do, especially when they have Baron. So I'm just kind of trying to apply pressure while not overextending too much. Because I recognise there's not too much that I can actually personally do. So what I do here is I just sit in this bush here. Because I know that if Vayne is pushing, the enemy team may see that she's pushing and think she's alone. So if they go for her and I'm in that bush, then I may be able to surprise them and kill someone. Like very similar to what I did bot lane like 20 minutes ago. But nothing's really going on. And me doing this doesn't really achieve too much. But at the same time, there's not really anything else for me to achieve. Like, I can't really go into a different lane and push it. Bot lane's already pushing really hard. And mid lane is pretty far away. So I'm just going to try and apply pressure where I can. And my team just keeps disengaging. Like, I leave them and they just disengage. So that's good. Like, my team does not want to be fighting right now. If my team fights, then we'll probably lose. So we need to be kind of careful. But right here, I try to engage onto the Eve. Because I see she's alone and I know that I can 1v1 her because I'm really strong. But she uses her ulti, I believe, and then just runs away from me. So it's not too bad. I didn't really blow anything. I used my, like, Yumus or something. So it's not too bad. And it's probably... It's a fair trade, I guess. But I'm just looking, like, now I'm just looking, again, I'm being a poacher. I'm looking for opportunities to pick people off or just to try and apply pressure. I can't do too much because the enemy team's rotating a lot. But because my team is just sieging this top lane, I get to take away this inhibitor bot lane again. So I get this in here for free. Even if all my team die... This isn't too bad a trade, in all honesty. So 2 of the enemy teams died. It's 2 for 2 so far, and I've just got an inhib. I wasn't in the fight, but I got an inhib, so it's worth it. I would be fighting here that Eve as well, but I know that Ezreal or someone's around. Yes, Ezreal is around, so I don't really want to go on that. So I just leave that. And now I'm just, I'm just kidding things. I'm just running around. There's nothing really for me to do here. But I figure now as well that Eve is probably doing dragon. Like I saw her on a ward. I figure that she's probably doing dragon. So what I do is I figure she's doing dragon. So I go to check. She is doing dragon. I beat the shit out of her. And while I'm beating the shit out of her, I actually smite the dragon to steal that away as I'm killing her, which is kind of cool. Then I finish her off, and I go back home to buy some items. I sell my Hex Drinker and buy an Infinity Edge because I'm a man. And now I'm really strong. Like I can 1v1 anyone in the game right now. I'm pretty beefy. Just because I've kept up this gold income. Like this isn't a snowball income by any means. Most of my incomes really come from the mid game. I didn't play that well early, but I've done a lot mid game, so I'm really strong now. I'm just being a huge pain. Like you imagine you on the enemy team right now. You would hate playing versus me because I'm being a huge pain in the ass. I'm just pushing your lanes constantly. I'm always in your face, and you can't really deal with me because I just run away from you, and you can't fight me because I'll just kill you. So there's nothing for you to do. But Ezreal decides to chase me here, and he's got his Frozen Fist, so he can actually chase me pretty hard. And he does go pretty ham on me, and I wanted to wait for him. I know I can 1v1 him, so I wanted to wait for him to use his Arcane Shift before I went on him, because then I know that he wouldn't be able to run away from me. But what I did was I drew Ezreal and Eve down bot lane for me, so now my top lane, my allies can try and do something top lane. Unfortunately, we don't actually get anything off, but still, it's a really good situation for my team. But my team is fighting here now, and I think maybe we can get a fight off here. Maybe we can do something. Maybe I can help them. But it doesn't really look like anything's going on. Nothing too much is happening. I'm just trying to bait the enemies away from my allies. If I show my face and I'm on really low health, maybe they'll try to go for me or something. But I know I'm safe, so I know I can get fairly close to them and kind of wiggle myself around, and maybe they'll take the bait. But I'm just standing around now because I'm looking for an opportunity to try and either 1v1 someone or just keep this lane pushed. I don't really think I can 1v1 Rumble though, because he has a Zhonya's, which is a lot of armor, and also he has a lot of health, and I think he has a lot of damage too. And I've got a Banshee, so I have a fair amount of MR, but it's really nothing to write home about. So instead I play it safe, I steal the red buff and I recall. And now at this stage of the game again, Baron has just respawned. Now this is actually good. This is something which will carry your team. Like plays like these are what carry your team. So I'm playing Shaco. Not really much of an engaged jungler when you compare it to someone like Vi or Jarvan. I see right here, Gragas is kind of overextended a teeny bit, and I know we're all around, so I'm just like, fuck it, let's go for him. Like, I see him, and I'm like, these guys are overextended, this Ezreal's low health, if we fight here, this is going to be really good for us. So I just jump at them. I go for this Gragas, and look at this damage I'm doing on him. I put him on half health, and, like, at the very worst, like, I'm just going to pause this again, sorry, but at the very worst, they've got Ezreal on low health and Gragas on low health. So if we chase this fight, they can't really turn around and fight us, because if they do, they'll probably die because they're not very healthy. So, and I know that. Like, I'm not really the one who should be engaging fights. The rest is probably the main person, but Renekton as well. But I'm like, guys, come on, let's fight them. So I'm just chasing. I just chase them down. I'm like, I know we can fight them. I've got a slow on my E. I've got red buff. Let's go for it. As soon as I see the opportunity present itself, I jump on Gragas. I instantly die, but we pick the kill up on Gragas. We kill Rumble. Taric dies as well. Renekton GAs. And it's a good fight. Like, again, I die because I'm engaging, but we pick up 3 kills. And it's totally worth it. I mean, the people we killed as well, top lane and mid lane and support, they're very, very priority targets. It could only go better for us maybe if we traded like the top laner for the AD or something. But because we've done this, and now because it's late game and death times are so high, we get another free inhibitor. We get 2 free inhibitors, in fact, I believe. Maybe not though, I'm not quite sure. But we get all these things just because trading kills at this stage in the game, when you're on the attack as well, is more or less worth it most of the time. So yeah, we get 2 free inhibs because of that fight that I fought. If I hadn't have engaged here, if I hadn't have forced this fight right here onto the enemy team, what would none of this would have happened. None of this would have happened if I hadn't have gone in on it. And I'm not saying that just to stroke my EP a little bit and just to show off to you guys. I just genuinely mean, if you want to win solo queue, you need to be playing aggressive and making plays. And this is what it is. Like, you just engaging team fights is a great way to be making plays. But just think, you know, if I hadn't done that, we'd all be doing the Baron dance. And who knows what could have happened. Maybe we would have won anyway. Maybe we would have fucked up and we would have thrown the game. At this stage in the game, we have less than 10,000 gold lead. It's not really that much, really, all things considered. So the enemy team tries to rush Baron because we're all kind of low health. I try to jump in and steal it, but I actually fail. But I use this time to engage onto a team fight. This is what happens. We just engage onto them. This is nothing really spectacular. And while my team is chasing, I'm just like, well, I'm probably going to go end the game. And so that's what I try and do. I just kill creeps, pushing into the enemy nexus and trying to end this game. And I think that is the end of the game, guys. So thank you very much for watching. It kind of maybe dragged on a little bit towards the end. But hopefully this was a game that showcased how you can be strong, useful, play well, carry as Shaco in the mid-late game, all that stuff, not just snowboarding early. So thanks very much for watching this video, guys. As always, you can check me out on my social medias. You can follow my stream, and all those links are in the description. But thanks very much for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video.